Hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to day 312 of our Let's Grow annual challenge. Today we're talking about, as a continuation of No Nonsense November, tip and tool number 7. We're going to discuss today emotional intelligence. I guess right off the bat, I would ask, have you ever done an emotional intelligence assessment? Have you ever had an EQ-I 2.0? That's the standard one. I Googled it. I actually took an assessment yesterday and found out that I have high emotional intelligence, which kind of cracks me up because sometimes I think I react way too quickly and I could behave in a much more emotionally intelligent way. There's 5 categories of the test. It reminds me of the Myers-Briggs testing that came out, in the 1970s? It's the whole personality testing thing. It's kind of an offshoot of that. And as I think people realize, and scientists have studied and verified that this test is pretty accurate and spot on for how people will respond in different situations, I think that they become more popular, and I think they're a great tool for self-awareness and for self-assessment, for getting to know ourselves better and deciding what areas are important for us to improve. And I probably should have talked about this in the month we focus on emotional life, part of the life framework, but I didn't, because assessments are just another tool that we can use to determine where we are right now. It's like an interest or a personality test. It's a snapshot or a photograph, right? It's where we are at that instant in time. And so we have to remember that. It's the culmination of everything that has come before, where we are right now, and then we decide what to do with that assessment and that information. So there's 5 categories in this, and I'll just run through them quickly. We've got Kirk's Story and Guide 2 with the Let's Grow Annual Challenge private Facebook group page. I'm going to encourage you today, if you've never had or never done one of these assessments, Google a free one. That's what I did last night. I just Googled a free one. I took the assessment. I think there's an article with 14 or 17 different ones. Plus, or when we do these, when we use them for hiring in my businesses, and when I'm deciding if I'm going to take on a team member or not, I've learned that the emotional intelligence assessment is actually more important than the skills assessments that we do. They have proven that the matching and knowing where people are and then choosing to have them join our organization is much more powerful than what skills and what degrees and what certifications have they got. It's more based on results and experience and how they respond in different areas. There's 5 categories of this assessment. Perception, meaning how do you see yourself? And do you realize that you have emotional blind spots or not? Second is expression. How do you, are you self-aware of how, and have you embraced how you respond and how you react to your emotions? The third is learning to manage those emotions through self-regulation and how that impacts our interpersonal interactions with other people. The 4th category is on decision-making, and that's, using the power of empathy and putting yourself in other people's shoes. We get to practice that a lot right now, right? We're just coming off a presidential election that, millions of people aren't happy with for a lot of reasons, and millions of people are happy with it. So we have to respect each other and treat each other with kindness as we understand what we're all going through emotionally. And then the 5th is stress management. How do our emotions impact our stress level, and how do we build resistance and motivation to manage our emotions? Now, I know I used to like to think that I was just this rational thinking, knowledge-based, find the facts human being. And then I realized, just like everyone else on the planet, I make my decisions and behave and react based on my emotions. Emotions act so much faster, and we experience them so much faster. A lot of times we act out of our emotions before we even let our brain kick in and think about, well, do I really want to say that? Do I really want to do that? Do I really want to go there? So I think that's where emotional intelligence comes into play in our relationships, our interpersonal relationships, all of our relationships, all of our communications, especially in our work and business environments. And now I'm going to say especially in the home, because everything begins at home. That's my opinion. Everything begins at home. Our foundational education and the way we respond and react to things starts in our family environment. I think that's why America is so messed up, or not just America. Let's be honest. It's the whole world is messed up because we've lost our sense of community, family values, bonding, connection to a higher power, etc. Again, getting emotional because that is important to me. And I think that most people don't want the world to continue going the way the world is going. Yeah, there's a small group of people that do because it benefits them and they love power, but that's not the way it's going to go because there's a whole lot more of us than there are of them. All right, that was a weird segue. Anyway, action item today. If you've never done an emotional intelligence assessment of any kind and you have no idea where you fall on the emotional intelligence spectrum, take a test. If you're brave, share your score. Remember, it's just a snapshot of where you are right now. I guarantee if I would have taken an emotional intelligence test 15 years ago, let me see, what's 2024, 2010, 2015? Oh my God, 2010 and 2015, totally different person. But 2010, my emotional intelligence score would have been way lower than it is now. And that's because I've intentionally done a lot of work on it, becoming a better human being, right? All right, any questions? What do? You ask, of course. If I can help you in any way, if you don't know how to find an emotional assessment, hit me up and ask, and I'll send a link. But you can just Google it, or you can use any search engine and say, EI assessment, or EQ assessment, EQ assessment, emotional, I don't know why it's EQ, interesting, emotional, anyway, that's it. Have an awesome day, and I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow. Maybe a little more coherent. Bye.